Hello, I'm Alexandra and welcome back to my channel. Today is gonna be a nice video. It's different from what I usually do, but I saw someone do a video about like recommendations and everything, and they had 20 props. So I went through the list, chose 20 books that I think represent myself the best, like with books. I'll link down her channel. It's Emily Fox. I love her. She's also from Quebec, so it's nice. But yeah, so let me talk about 20 videos that are on this list. So the first one is a book you tell people is your favorite. Well, it's super easy. So it is War and Peace by Tolstoy. He is a Russian writer from the 19th century, and I absolutely love this book. It talks about, war, of course, and all the lives of people that live there. The only thing is that it focuses on aristocrats. So, that's my only issue with this book, but I absolutely love it. And when people ask what is my favorite book, I always talk about War and Peace. And also this gorgeous edition was gifted to me by my boyfriend for our first anniversary. It's super nice, like look at this. Also it was published, I think, let me check. It was published in 1981. Yeah, so very great. It says it's a collector's edition, and just absolutely gorgeous. I'll just put it back there because that's where it goes. Then the second one, a book that is your guilty pleasure. I had to think hard about this one because I'm not someone who like thinks about things that are guilty pleasure for me. Like if I enjoy it, it's fine, it's okay. But I went with The Princess Diaries by Meg Cabot. I don't know how to pronounce her name. This is a series that I've read when I was a teenager, and in the last couple of years I've been trying to get the whole series as used book, and I've been rereading it, and I think it's my guilty pleasure. I mean, of course it's for a young adult and it's just so nice, but also like it's not good writing, it's not a good story. It's like, sometimes I think the movie is better, but still a good series. I'm excited to have it in my shelf, and hopefully if one day I have a daughter, she might read it and enjoy it as much as I did the first time I read it. Reading it as an adult was a different experience, of course, but just it's nice. And also pink is my favorite color, so having a pink book in my bookshelf is always nice. Then the third one, a book everyone loved but you didn't. I had to think about this because I usually don't really keep the books that I've did not like or they're below my couch. But this one, A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. The writing is just so bad. I don't get the hype. I just don't. There were whole paragraphs that were like that I've read them twice in the same book. So I don't know. The writing is just horrible, and I just don't get why people like this. The story is not that bad, but the writing is horrible. That just, for me, it doesn't make sense how a book was published like this. Of course, this is a translation. I think it was from Swedish, I believe. I'm not sure. But I don't know if it's the translation that is bad, but overall, this was like I could have given it a 0 stars, but I kept it. I tried to read other books by Frederick Backman. I've read like Bear Town and the second book in that series, but I've read also the third one, I think, as an audiobook. It wasn't that bad. I think audiobooks are better for books that are not well written, but you know what? I did not like this one. A book you read the fastest. The thing is, I read fast, and I read so many books that I don't know, but I remember going through this super quick. So this is A Passage North by Anouk Arud-Pragasam. This is about Sri Lanka. This one, did it won? I don't remember, and I'm forgetting Anyway, I'll put the name here, but there's a prize for books. And yeah, this was nominated on the long list, and maybe the short list. I'll look it up and I put it somewhere. But this was so good. I've read it as an ebook because I don't like spending my money on books, but I enjoyed it so much that I had to buy it. The writing is amazing. So I went through this book super quick. It's little less than 300 pages, and I think I finished it in like 2 days. So I've read this very fast. Then a book that deserves more hype. So I'm not someone who's necessarily gonna go through like popular books because most of the time it doesn't work for me. So I'm trying to just, go to the library and decide a book that looks good, or like, buying a book. And last year for my birthday, I went and bought a book, this one, because it was so pretty. You can see. It's called Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan, and turns out it is so good. This is fantasy. You're following this girl who's the daughter of the moon goddess, obviously, but she's been hidden, so nobody knows she exists for many reasons. So you're following her as people discover she exists, and it's just so good, so good. I think yeah, it deserves more hype for sure. And I've read the second one. It's called Heart of the Sun Warrior. It was good, but I think the first one was better. Just, it was nice reading this. I love reading like a fantasy that it's a series, and then I get to read more and learn more about everything, the world, the characters, everything. So it deserves more hype. Then a book that is becoming a movie, TV show. That was hard because I don't have a lot of books in my shelves that are becoming a movie or a TV show, but I believe that The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid is becoming a series or a movie, I think, produced by Netflix, but have been no release date. It was like Netflix announced it in 2022, found nothing, so I don't know if it will, but if it does, this is a book that's becoming a movie. The rest, I don't know. I have a lot of books that are already TV shows and movies, but not a lot that are becoming. Okay, the seventh one is a book that you reread the most. I've been debating on this one because I don't like to talk about it, but I mean Harry Potter. I read that when I was a kid, reread it as an adult a couple of years in a row. I've been rereading the whole series. I haven't been reading any so far this year, and last year I did not finish the series, but it's just such a comfort book that if I'm in a reading slump or I feel like I need something nice, I'm gonna read this. Especially the first one. It's like so short, 200 pages, super quick read, but this is for sure the book I have reread the most. Then a book from a genre you don't typically read. That was hard because I read anything, basically anything, but looking at my shelf, I realized I don't read a lot of like poesy. Yeah, poems. So I picked one that I have here. It's If They Come For Us by Fatima Ashgar, and this is very well written. There's like things about, India and Pakistan, and now I'm forgetting, but this woman, like, family has been in a, let me check. Okay, she is a young Pakistani Muslim woman that grew up in the US. So you learn a lot about history, and the writing's pretty cool, but not cool, but nice. And yeah, it was also different. Look, there are words missing. Just a nice read, and it's from a genre that I don't really read. So that's that. A book that deserves all the hype it gets. Again, I don't read a lot of popular books, and if I do, most of the time I don't enjoy them, but A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah G. Maas. This took me a while to read it. You see, this is the better edition, but it's the only one I own in this edition. The rest are the like boring covers, but this was very good. I flew through it. I flew to the whole series. Basically everything was, well, the first 5 books were out, so I went through them super quick. Really enjoy it. Deserves the hype it gets, even though some people are saying no, but that was nice. Then a book you usually recommend when asked to give a recommendation. This is hard because not everyone, whoops, I moved to, anyway, not everybody likes the same thing. So of course I'm gonna ask question and blah blah blah, but as I think people who watch this channel love reading, I'm gonna recommend this book. It's The Seventh Moon of Mali Almeida by Shihan Karunatilaka. And now I remember it's the Booker Prize. So this won the Booker Prize in 2022. Sorry. So this one in 2022, you're basically following people in Sri Lanka again as they go through a civil war, and Mali Almeida dies, and you're trying to figure out why he died and who, did things to him and everything. Just so nice. So he has 7 nights to figure out what happened, why he's dead, So every night, every moon, he has a chance to discover more. So it's kind of like a thriller, but also not, but very good. And also look at how pretty this is. So nice. Okay, then a book that has your favorite characters. I wanted to say Harry Potter, but I was like, no. So I picked up Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. This is a historical fiction. You're following Claire and Jamie. Claire goes in the past, then comes back, and blah blah blah. But I really love Claire and Jamie. I think they are amazing. Some people have some things to say about this series, but I don't know if you can see, but this is all Outlander. This is an Outlander shelf. But yeah, just I love this. I also love the TV show. I'm rewatching it. Just so nice. I'm thinking about rereading the series this year or maybe next year, because this year I'm more focused on trying to read all my physical TBR, but eventually I'm gonna reread the whole series because it's just so good. Also, I've read like how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I went through the 8 first books in a year, and they are thick ones, so this is going to fall. Anyway, okay, a book that you wished you could live in. It's Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I have a French version, but this is so nice. If you love books, read this. I wish I could live in this. So basically, there is a library where you can go and get books. So the little guy does that. He goes pick up a book, and turns out it's his life. So he lives in the book. Like, it's weird how to explain it, but just so good. So Shadow of the Wind. I wish I could live there. I'm gonna put it here so it doesn't fall. A book you thought you would hate but ended up loving. It's Second Place by Rachel Cusk. I believe this was for the Women's Prize for Fiction a couple of years ago. I believe this is also the only book I loved that year. The writing is phenomenal. Just enjoy the writing. It's a pretty slow story. I don't really remember what it was about, but just very good. And yeah, I thought I was gonna hate it because usually with that price I don't like any books, but this was good, so Then we have a book that made you cry. I'm not someone who cries a lot in books, and honestly the last ones I have read that I cry were like romance, but decided to not talk about romance because why not? So I went through a book that made me cry for another reason. This is Labyrinth of the Spirits by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. And the reason why I cried is because this is the 4th book in the series, the last one, The Shadow of the Wind. I think it's the Cemetery of let me check. Cemetery of Forgotten Books. This is the series. So this is the last one, and it made me cry because I was just sad. This is the only reason. But if you've never read anything by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, I think you should, because they are so good. And okay, talking about crying, this is a book that I wish I could read for the first time. This is The City of Mist by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is the last book he ever published. He published it after he passed away from cancer. And I wish I could read it again for the first time, because this is the last book I've read for the first time from this writer. And it's just sad. But this was really good. It's a short stories, many, about like different things. But some of them are linked to the Cemetery of Forgotten Books series. So, you know, just so nice, and such a gift that he gave us before passing away. And I wish I could read it for the first time again. So sad. Okay, also he was young, he was not even 60. Okay, a book that could cure a reading slump. For me, what can cure reading slumps are romance. So I picked up a romance. It's not very well known. This is by Laurie Foster. It's called Forever Buckhorn. Any like books by her could cure your reading slump, but I decided to pick this one because why not? And also, you know. Anyway, it's just a romance. You're following Gabe and Jordan. So these are two brothers, I believe. Yeah, brothers. So you have the first part that's about Gabe, and then the second one that's about Jordan, the fine woman, and you know, just so cute, and that could cure your reading slump. We're almost at the end. We're on number 17. So a book that you think everyone needs to read, and I've decided it is A Fire Sparkling by Julianne McLean. This is also not very well known. It's a very pretty book. This is about World War II. I know a lot of people are saying they've read too much from, you know, historical fiction from that time. But this is really good. You're following a woman. I'm just trying to... I don't want to, like, you know, spoil you. But you're following a woman who's about to die, and you learn about her story. And guess what? I was going to spoil you. So you should read it. Like... The main spoiler had me shocked. I was like, no way, you know, just so good. I also read this during COVID, so, but very good, and I think everyone should read it. Everyone should read it. Okay, then, a book you think would make an amazing movie. I chose The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, because it's historical fiction. I think it would be great. It is set in the US during the, let me check. Well, it's in 1921, so just after the First War. So that starts there, then you go through the time, and you know, things are not going well. There's not enough food for people and everything. I think it would be great. Kristen Hanna writes books that I think would be great, and TV shows and series. There are a couple. I know there's like Firefly Lane, which is a TV show that I started, did not really get on with it, but this one would make a good movie. Okay, we're down to the last two. We have a book you wish everyone will give it a chance, even if it's out of their comfort zone. I picked up Take My Hand by Dolan Perkins Valdez. I think this is an important book. So you're following these Black women that are forced to, you know, abort and get hysterectomy, and everything is just, it pisses me off. But this is very good. The writing is nice, and well, it makes you think, basically, that like Black women were not treated properly, and were forced to do things that you should never force anyone to do. So just nice. Yeah, give it a shot, even though if you're not like into historical fiction, it just, yeah, you should give it a shot. Then a book you'll never forget. I picked up A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks because I remember throwing it, well, like this. That was not planned, but I remember doing that when I finished it because I was pissed. I still believe that she's not dead, but you know, she is, but it's okay. I don't believe it, and it's me. I'll never forget this because I think it's the first Nicholas Sparks I have read, and I have read a lot now. But yeah, I'll never forget this. So this was 20 books I think you should read, or yeah, 20 books I think you should read. And yeah, that was a lot, and now my throat hurts. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye!